So today we see at one hemoglobinopathy disorder, that is sickle cell disease. So sickle cell disease is a red cell blood disorder, which is a genetic condition, genetic disorder, which is found due to a single point mutation. It is an example of a single point mutation. This can be your MCQ, multiple choice question. It is due to a single point mutation, a genetic disorder where the beta chain of the hemoglobin is affected, where the beta chain of the hemoglobin is affected. So generally the hemoglobin is alpha to beta 2. It gets converted to alpha to beta to X. We have put this for sickle. So how does the single point mutation actually take place? So we have a GTG in the beta globin of the hemoglobin. So beta globin has GTG that codes for glutamate in the 6th position, but this gets converted to GAG. This T gets converted to A. So GAG converted in the sense there's a point mutation where the GTG gets muted to GAG. So the glutamate gets muted to valine. So basically now instead of glutamate, valine is read in the beta globin chain of the hemoglobin. So this happens at the 6th position of the beta globin chain. So when both the globin chains are mutated, this is resulted in this glutamate gets converted, glutamate gets muted to valine. It results in a sickle cell disease. So what happens when somebody has a sickle cell disease? Generally, when it's a small baby, you cannot see sickle cell disease so as soon as the baby is born, because the HbF has to get converted and the sickle has to be more. The HbS has to be more in proportion. So only after a few days of growth of the child that you know that the patient is suffering from sickle cell disease. But what is the most important part in the sickle cell disease is this homozygous recessive disorder, homozygous recessive disorder, the genetic disorder caused by single point mutation. The most important thing is sickle cell crisis. This is the most important part of the sickle cell crisis. Now, how does sickle cell crisis occur? When there is a mutation, the structure is a bit changed. Like the RBC is like this. The structure is a bit changed. You can see some protrusion. This protrusion is present, and what happens when the oxygen is less, the oxygen decreases. This protrusion in these RBCs will get stuck to each other. It will form a stack. It forms a fiber-like, rod-like. So this forms a fiber-like, rope-like. They stick to each other. The sticky RBCs, basically they become sticky RBCs, and they get stick to each other, and they form a fiber or a rope-like structure like this. And because it becomes all sticky, they are all coming together. So whenever they are into a capillary, they will stick in the capillary like this and will not allow the blood to flow. Will not allow the blood. So blood will not flow, like the blood is flowing here constantly, continuously. But because of this, there is an occlusion. They have occluded the capillaries and the blood will not flow. When there is an occlusion to the capillary, these will affect further organs wherever the blood has been supplied, and this results into sickle cell crisis. So it can cause a number of symptoms depending upon where the capillary is getting occluded. You know, at times it will affect the eyes, it can affect any part of the body wherever the occlusion happens. Now the sticky RBCs basically have changed their shape. The RBC was like this, they have changed their shape and they have become sickle cell. That is why they are sticking to each other and forming a rope-like thing. So this is why the sickle cell shape of the RBCs is there. You can easily identify when you take a peripheral smear under the microscope. You can say sickle shape RBCs. This is how the sickle cell disease actually, pathophysiology actually happens in the body. The lifespan of such sickle, this is only 20 days as compared to this RBC, normal RBC, which is 120 days. So basically it will result into a number of conditions: sickle cell crisis, hemolytic anemia, the bilirubin will increase. So basically the patient is under a lot of problem and will have to undergo a lot of treatment to overcome these problems. But now why there are conditions when this HbS, that is the hemoglobin sickle, will increase in the body first when the oxygen is less. So when the oxygen is less, when there is more of carbon dioxide, when the pH is decreased, means there is more acidic condition in the body, there is dehydration, and there is increase of 2,3-biphosphoglycerol. So the most important thing that you have to know, I mean, even if you're an undergraduate student or postgraduate student, a clinician or a patient or whatever, patient who's suffering from the disease, that the vaso-occlusive crisis or the sickle cell crisis is the most important part of the sickle cell disease, and happens when all the HBS is coming together, happens in condition where there's low oxygen, more of carbon dioxide, more of dehydration, acidic condition in the body, and more of 2,3-biphosphoglycerol. The important point regarding the MCQ is it is a single point mutation where GTG is converted to GAG, glutamate to valine, and homozygous recessive disorder. Beta globin is affected.